Alright, what is up YouTube? Welcome back to another anime live action video for you guys, and today we're actually going to be talking about a Yu-Gi-Oh live action movie and how it could work. So the idea for this video actually comes from, first off, the fact that I just recently made a video about the Beyblade live action movie that is coming from Hollywood, as well as the success of the Sonic movie and Detective Pikachu film. You know, we got a Pokemon movie. What about a Yu-Gi-Oh one? Also, there's been a string of ads that came out for the new Yu-Gi-Oh game, I think not too long ago, and they actually have a live action Yugi Moto in the commercials and stuff like that. Obviously, they're a bit meme oriented as opposed to, being taken seriously and stuff like that, but it kind of plays into the humor, and I think that helps with people, accepting the fact that there's a live action Yugi on the screen. But with that being said, I figured it might be a fun idea to just make a video about how a Yu-Gi-Oh live action movie could work, because I think it could. How, you may ask? Let me explain. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so I'm gonna try and keep this one short. Basically, I think a Yu-Gi-Oh live action movie could work much like the same way the Detective Pikachu movie worked. I feel like a lot of people, when they think of Yu-Gi-Oh and live action, they immediately are just like, no, because they think Yugi Moto, and they think of having to translate characters like Yugi and Kaiba and other characters from future series, and having to translate all these different wacky hairstyles and wacky character designs into live action, and that being kind of, hard to do, right? But in actuality, a Yu-Gi-Oh movie wouldn't have to do that. I think the way a Yu-Gi-Oh movie could work is if they have like a main character that's no different from me or you, just an average kid, and they use Yugi as more of a cameo instead of him being like the main character. If they had like a statue of him and it said like King of Games, and just to let us know that he definitely exists in this world, I think that would be good enough, to be honest. Because one thing I will say, I really don't think that live action filmmaking should ever even attempt to try and make Yugi Moto's hairstyle and translate that from anime to live action. I think that is one thing that should stay anime forever and never ever translate to live action. Because to be honest, even though his hairstyle is badass, it's super cool, super unique, and super colorful, it's honestly barely even believable in the anime. Don't get me wrong, I grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh, so I love, of course, the GOAT, the classic hairstyle. It's fire. I love Yugi's design so much. The purple star gloves and like the blue, Yugi, honestly, probably one of the top 10 coolest, best iconic designs in anime, for me anyway. But if you just stop to think for a second and look at that man's hair, it is barely believable that it's his hairstyle, even in the anime. So it has no business being translated to live action. That is for certain. That is factual. Every time you see cosplayers with like the Yugi hair, it just always looks weird, man. It just does not fit. It's just too hard, to be honest. To make that look real and believable, and to have us just go along with it, I think it would be a little too much. Admittedly, the world of Yu-Gi-Oh does have a lot of characters with wacky, crazy hairstyles, so if it was kind of like a thing like Speed Racer where everyone has it, like it's just the style of this world to where everyone has wacky hairstyle, has wacky designs, then most certainly it could work. But I just think that personally, they should probably just leave it alone and not try to have Yugi in the story. I think the best way for a Yu-Gi-Oh live action movie to work is to have him as this kind of cameo character and have him be, in the legacy and history books and stuff. Like, that could be super cool. But I think, for me personally, the time I was most into Yu-Gi-Oh was as a kid. So I think making this movie targeted towards kids, but also enjoyable for adults, being the best way to make a family-friendly movie would be pretty cool. And I think having just a main character that's just like a kid, trying to get into this Duel Monsters game and everything, it would allow us adults to kind of go back into that kid mindset and relive our childhood, as well as act for a placeholder for kids and other younger audiences that are into Yu-Gi-Oh currently, being able to experience the movie from a point of view that is not too far off of the imagination from their eyes and the main character's eyes. So I think that would be pretty great. And yeah, you might be thinking, well, why even make a Yu-Gi-Oh live action movie? Honestly, I think it would be badass and super sick to see some of the monsters come to life in Hollywood, like huge budget, like Titan fight. Like, that would be super sick. Like, imagine Exodia like in a huge like Godzilla like CG, like everything, just the battles that could happen would be so sick. Like Blue Eyes White Dragon, Red Eyes Black Dragon. Oh, just to see them in live action CG with like, you know, if we're talking like Hollywood CG, like special effects, really well done. Like, yo, that would be fire. I think that would be super sick. And yeah, it would just be cool for Yu-Gi-Oh to have a live action movie. Again, Pokemon got one, so it would definitely be cool to see Yu-Gi-Oh get one. If it's done right, of course, and I think it definitely can be. It doesn't have to have Yugi, and it doesn't have to be a retelling of like the main Duel Monsters story arcs and stuff like that. It can just be like kind of what Detective Pikachu was, its own thing, but still taking place in this world of Yu-Gi-Oh! That by itself, I think, is good enough to just make a successful movie. And yeah, of course, I would personally love for them to reference, you know, Yugi Moto and other characters and different things from the franchise, especially the first Duel Monsters series. But I mean, let's not act like Pokemon did that. It's not like we saw Ash or Misty or Brock or anything like that. So, you know, I think a Yu-Gi-Oh movie could definitely work. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. That helps me out a ton. And yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, just let me know. Also, if you're interested in me reacting to the Yu-Gi-Oh live action commercials and ads, definitely let me know, because I'm down to do that. I haven't done any reaction videos in a while, and I'm sure you guys might be interested to see some of those ads. So, but with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it as always, and I will see you guys in the next video.